Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the first ever edition of the Oracle Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Justice Miranda, better known as the Oracle. So finally, a bit of a face reveal here. And today I'm joined alongside, I'd say, one of the most well-respected coaches in Arizona. Obviously, very active on Twitter, very active in the Arizona high school basketball community, current head coach at Scottsdale Saguaro High School, fresh off a 4A state semifinal run, entering seventh season at the program, welcoming in Lucas Ramirez. Thanks for joining the program, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's nice to know who I'm speaking with, who the Oracle is. I know we were joking before we started recording, but I had a couple coaches reach out to me and they were like, "Hey, who is the Oracle?" And my response was, "We'll find out Monday night when I record." So
For
happy to
sure.
be here and excited to chat with you and appreciate all you do for Arizona high school basketball.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, appreciate it. We're gonna play a little trivia here really quick.
Uh-oh.
Last time that Saguaro, can you tell me the last time that Saguaro made a state semifinal run? If you had to take a
Uh,
guess.
Yes, so I believe it was my senior year of high school, 2010, 2011. They were runner up, and I believe they lost to Nogales
That is correct. In the
in
4A, I
the
think it was
4A state
4A
championship.
Division One,
Yeah.
made it to the semifinal. I forgot who they beat in the semifinal, but yeah, made it, played Nogales. And yeah, I was actually gonna throw that nugget of, oh yeah, it was your senior year at Horizon High School, but you actually
Yep.
got it. So you're one for one on trivia, I guess. Trivia time for the
Love it.
for the channel here. But yeah, so just wanted to throw that at you. And then again, yeah, we kind of talked about like the reveal here. It's actually been kind of funny because it's just been like a long goose chase for you. It feels like for months, really since like the end of last season, have been commenting on Twitter. You could probably dig up old tweets of like, oh, who is this? Who is the Oracle?
Absolutely.
Section 7 asking the same thing. So again, good to kind of, yeah, I guess finally have the face-to-face moment here. But we can kind of just jump into some questions. Hopefully, I'd say just to help the general Arizona high school basketball audience kind of, understand where you're at, what you're all about, and then hopefully gain some more insight into the Scottsdale Saguaro basketball
Yeah.
program. So I guess just to start off, I mean, personally, I think you've done a pretty admirable job while leading the way at Saguaro the first 6 seasons. Kind of just a quick rundown your numbers. In 5 of your first 6 seasons, you've reached the either the conference play-in or the actual state tournament. 3 of those 6 seasons have actually made the traditional 16 teams for a state tournament. In your inaugural season, won the 4A Desert Sky region and actually advanced to the playoffs as a 14 seed. In 2024-25, improved to a 10 seed. And then, of course, last year, banner year, went 18-11. Actually made Saguaro's first ever open appearance in the Open State Championship. Lost in the tight game to Mesa. Was watching that one very closely, and then eventually rattled off wins against 11 seed Choya, 3 seed Saguaro Tucson, and then eventually fell to eventual state champion Arcadia in the semifinals. But again, really good season. So obviously you're a man who I'd say leans pretty heavily into culture. Kind of what culture or standards did you bring to Saguaro that really helped turn this program around? Because before you got here, I think the season prior, Saguaro was 4-21, kind of going through a rough spell. So kind of just curious on your thoughts there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, first off, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's a collective effort of staff, community, and players, and um, but there was a long history of basketball at Saguaro. So my predecessor Bob LaRue did a phenomenal job. He was an alum. Was lower level coach, then stepped in and really did a lot of good things for Saguaro basketball, and so for me, that was always intriguing about the job is that there was a history of basketball at Saguaro. People probably knew us more at the time for football, but I knew that there was a brand with Saguaro. Everyone knows Saguaro, SAGU, whatever it is. And so I thought there was power in that. I knew the community was strong. I knew that people were going to know about Saguaro. They were going to be intrigued and interested by Saguaro. But no, I mean, like the culture, the buzzwords that people want to throw around all the time. But I think it just simply comes down to creating and again, this will be cliche, but it's just a family atmosphere of like you want to be proud of the neighborhood that you belong to, the program that you belong to. You want to show up every day and enjoy the people that you're with, and working hard through that. But at the same time, like just really, really wanting to establish that it's all right to be held accountable. It's all right to work hard. You can still have fun doing all of those things, but centered around just the team family concept of it. There's not one person bigger than the program. I've told the kids day one in 2020, and I remind them every year, like, I am not going to be the basketball coach at Saguaro forever. Either I'm going to make a decision to move on, or someone's going to tell me it's time to move on. And my job, our job, is to make sure that we left it better than we found it. And same with the guys. You're not going to be playing games for Saguaro every day of your life, but you have a 4-year window to really make an impact and leave a legacy for yourself, and try and leave it better than you found it. And I think that's our goal every day is just to be really, really good in the classroom, on the court, weight room, and in the community, and just kind of bringing it all together, a community family feel.
For sure, for sure. And then so you went to Horizons out in Scottsdale. So I'm assuming you were probably just growing up in Scottsdale, so you already have that community kind of feel there.
Yeah, no, I mean, like graduating from Horizon and being fortunate enough, my first job teaching was at Horizon. And, even though I'd been coaching well before I graduated from college, North Canyon High School, Phoenix College, but having the chance to go back home to Horizon was such a wonderful experience. The administration over there, Linda Inett, Candy Kelly, Chuck O'Connor, you can keep going down the list of people, the ADs I had there, Larry Boyles, Dina Anderson, Hannah Pacheco. Like it was such a family atmosphere. It's really easy for me to say that because like I grew up in that family. Like that was what I knew. But what sticks out to me was, going to football games on Friday nights, going to volleyball games and having the student section, having the neighborhood come out. So definitely was attracted to Saguaro just because of that family and neighborhood feel. And there's a pride. I was at a local breakfast spot this morning, and I think the manager of the place, maybe the owner of the place, came out and he saw me wearing the Saguaro shirt, and he was like, "Hey, class of '95, like, we love Saguaro," and like that's what it's about. And we kind of lose that in the world that we're in today. So, however, we can kind of connect to that, I think it's really, really special. Like, I was having a conversation before we jumped on here with a parent, and it's just talking about high school, right? And like, you only get one shot at this thing, and this is the last chance. It's a very pure experience because when you go to college, if you're playing, like, it's more of a job than ever. So, just really trying to make the most of the moment that they have, being 4 years at Saguaro High School.
Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, you mentioned like the community aspect and just especially in certain parts of town in Arizona, like being an alma mater for a high school is really important. And then yeah, you've kind of mentioned it, a lot of it's kind of changed. I do think like NILs play a lot into it. I think transfers, like even if you look at the game 10 years ago, it's completely different. And I guess just on the point of transfers, again, I didn't prep you with any of these questions for anyone that's wondering, but a little bit of a controversial question, I suppose. Like, I was kind of just curious on your thoughts on the transfer landscape in high school hoops this summer, particularly in Arizona. Obviously, I won't name names, but lost a few key players, got one back. But I guess I remember I saw you a couple times at Section 7 or the qualifiers, and I could just tell like I don't know, you were kind of having a rough time of like it's just kind of annoying dealing with this transfer stuff. I guess what was the process like during the NCAA live periods, trying to coach and then practice when like a good core of your roster was
Yeah.
gone? How are you able to maintain like the same level of intensity?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny. I guess you don't realize people are watching you and they're, how you move and how you interact. I tell people this all the time. No matter what happens, I want to try and always be the same person, no matter
Mhm.
success, failure. You can look at my best year at Saguaro High School this past season. you can look at my worst year at Saguaro High School. I think that was my third year. I still want to be the same annoying guy on Twitter. I want to be very confident in how we do things and how we operate. So I never want to be too high. I never want to be too low. But it was rough, man. Like people don't talk about this stuff enough that, ego and vulnerability. And maybe I'm just at a really good place in my life where I can talk about this stuff now. But like, you know, after my third year, it was a tough one. And I lost some kids. They transferred out. And I really beat myself up about it, like truly. And, after going through it, you're like, you know what, man, you live, you survive, you wake up and coffee still tastes the same. And, it's you're back to work the next day. So for us, it was like, I want to focus on the kids who are here. I have great relationships with the young men who left our program. Like I really do. And I hope they have a ton of success. And whatever I can do from the outside to help them achieve their goals and dreams and support them, I completely will. And it's not coach speak. Like you're my guy for life as long as you've entered my circle and you've been good to me so it's the world that we're in. People have choices. I lost kids, but I've also gained kids over the years out of transfer and open enrollment. So like who am I to feel sorry for myself? Don't get me wrong, is it tough? Yeah, it's tough when you lose, you know two of your three best or top returners on paper. But guess what? It opened the door and created opportunity for other guys to step up and force themselves to get better. And from where we started June to where we ended June, we were a lot better, and we took strides, and guys got better. And it's the world that we're in. Like it's a direct reflection of portal in the NCAA, NIL, and all this stuff. But this isn't new, and it's not going to stop. It's our job to put together the best rosters that we can. Whoever shows up on August 10th at Saguaro High School, like those are going to be our guys, and that's who we're going to coach. We're going to coach them hard, and we're going to hold them to a high standard, and we're going to give it our best shot. But it's the world that we're in. I've told coaches all the time who because it's Section 7, everyone's like first time seeing everybody, and they're like, "Hey,
Mhm.
how you doing? All right?" Like, yeah, man, like. I mean, what do you want me to say? Appreciate people caring, but all you can do is show up the next day and coach who's there and care and pour into them. And again, life's too short, the world's too small to hold grudges and feel types of way. Like I think you got to have a good personality about it and kind of a good sense of humor. But it's just the way of the world. Like the same way people leave, people come in, and you just got to give them your best every single day.
Very, very well said. And then obviously, yeah, like at Section 7, 0-4, and then Nevada Live, guys finished 2-2. So definitely some big progress there. I will say this regarding the transfers. You guys did get one guy back. That was Pierce Harrington. He had himself a great summer during the NCAA live periods. I don't know. I didn't get his stats for Section 7 because I don't think that was publicly available, but I don't know if you're aware of this, but at Nevada Live, while he was at St. Mary's, he averaged 24 points, 2.5 rebounds, and 2 assists per game.
Yeah.
Clearly emerging as one of the top players in the 2028 class, specifically for AIA. And I'd say just regardless of prep school or not, he's kind of emerged. Like, how big was it to get him back to the roster as he's, most likely going to be the upperclassman leader coming into this next
Yeah.
season?
Yeah, no, I mean, those are great numbers he had in Vegas. I would like to see the assist numbers go up a little
Yeah.
bit. A couple more assists, a couple more rebounds, a couple more steals. But I mean, he's a tremendous talent, and he has a natural gift. When we met him as a freshman, I had no idea who he was when he enrolled. Literally had no idea who he was. I knew who Bentley Elrod was. I knew who Nas Haley was. I did not know who Pierce Harrington was. And first day of school, he asked me, "What do I got to do to be on varsity?" And I literally kind of chuckled. I'm like, "My man, let's see you work out first." But that kid worked every day. And I told him when he came back, met him up at the school, and we opened the gym up for our guys. And I told him, I said, man, no one's ever going to question your heart, how hard you work. um, how much you want to win. And like I do all of our guys, I just told him, hey, here's some things I think you need to continue to get better at, and expand your game to the next level. He's going to have his chances. He's going to continue to garner interest and, um, continue to rise, I believe. And he's as competitive as there have been that I've been around. And it's great to have him back. Like with any transition, uh, people think it's probably like clean and easy and like it's beautiful and it's great and it's sunshine and rainbows. Um, but like anyone knows, like you got to come in and you got to be humble and you got to work hard and you got to be a great teammate. You got to be coachable and you got to show everybody that, hey, like I'm all in because it's really easy to think if people were to leave and come back, like, it's just things like guys can take things the wrong way. And like I've told our entire program, like for everybody and all this movement, right? Because there's always rumors of this and that and, whatever. And I just remind everybody, no one's guaranteed anything. No one's promised anything. You got to come in, you got to work hard, you got to be coachable, you got to be held accountable. And if you're willing to do those things, then everything's going to work out well. But, so super excited to have Pierce back. But I'm equally as excited, like now that we have him back, our guys have gotten better since he had left, right? So returners like Isaac Nat and Pierce Foster and Kingston Berry and Akenna Epham and Sonny Nolan. And I mean, I can keep going down the other 10 guys that I'm aware of right now that got better this summer. Cameron Schaefer, Cash Claffin, like, and again, I'm probably missing a guy, Ben Davila. So sorry if I forgot somebody and I offended them, but like we took strides as a unit, as a group. It forced them to become closer. It forced them to figure things out. So I think combining that and bringing Pierce and bringing him back home, if you will, it could be really really fun. And I mean it's gonna be fun either way, but um, it's gonna be like any group, every year has a life of its own, and every team has its own life. So, regardless if we had lost guys or gained guys or whatever it might be, like it's just the start of day one, on Monday when we start school and we start the process all over again. So we're excited. It was an interesting summer, like with all the movement, and you do such a wonderful job tracking, incoming freshmen who are at a high level coming in and people transferring around. So like it's the world that we're in. It's not just Saguaro High School. It's not just, name the other school that's lost kids and gained kids. It's everybody, and we just got to adapt and adjust. And the coaches that are able to adapt and adjust to it the quickest and the ones that don't take it personal are going to be the ones that last in this thing and just figure it out.
Yeah. And it's kind of like does it feel like it's kind of becoming more of a closer to a college rule than high school? Because there's no portal, but it's like, yeah, you're constantly
I mean,
tracking the
you know
transfers.
me, I joke about the portal all the time. I mean, the portal opened in March after the championships. It
Yeah.
opened again after the first weekend of June ball, and then it opened again at the end of June. So, with fall leagues starting up, the portal might open again at the end of October or end of September. So, it's the world that we're in, and it's hilarious because all of us have relationships at different levels and different things. And talking to guys at the Division 1 level, like I'll they'll be like, "Hey, how was your summer? What's going on?" And I'll tell them, and they'll be like, "You got to be kidding me!" And I'm like, "No, man, like this is what it is." Like so it's you just got to adapt and accept.
Yeah. Like I said, much different game, but I think the players are getting better every single year. So I think it's a more entertaining game as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then last question on deck for me for you. You mentioned some of the players on your roster. By the way, for any of the players that you did not mention, go at your coach next time you guys catch up at practice. But I guess
Pull up
for
all their names
you,
right now so I can make sure I talk about each of them.
yeah, exactly. For you, is there a specific under the radar guy that you think for this upcoming season could end up
Yeah.
making a splash, or anyone in particular that you're really excited to see grow?
Hey, two guys I failed to mention though before. Evan Barron, Joseph Hopick, two seniors, and great human beings, great kids. They work hard every day. But in terms of guys who are under the radar who might be coming up, I would say Isaac Nat. He shot the ball very well last year from three. And he's a catch and shoot guy. But he came up in big like he was huge in our open division game against Mesa. Hit some big shots. He hit big shots in our other playoff games, 4A playoff games. He'll be a junior. I think Akenna Epham is going to be a sophomore. Um, and guy works his tail off, downhill type of guard, always in the gym working hard. Um, you have a guy like Kingston Berry who's going to be a junior. If he can be healthy, tremendous athlete, great passer, great vision, can mix it up inside out. There's a handful of guys I think that can help us. That will be surprising, maybe, if you will, excuse me. Just because last year, we had our big three, and then we had Justice Hines, who was a senior, and that was kind of the focal point and the focus. But you know, Isaac and Pierce Foster and Kingston, like those three guys were really good role guys for us, throughout the stretch run and really, really helped us there. But I say this half kidding. I'm going to preface this that I'm kidding so I don't get dinged with any violations. But who knows what our roster looks like when we start school? And I speak for every high school head coach who probably hasn't started school yet. Um, we'll see who shows up. So just all the mobility there is nowadays, it's you never know, and so we're excited, to be back at it. I'm literally was texting with my staff before I got on this call, and um, there's just a freshness and a renewedness that we're just the start of every new year. Everyone's pretty excited, I think, to see where things go and see how things progress. But um, we'll see what shows up on Monday.
For sure, for sure. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what you guys are all about this year. Last season, I did have you guys. I mean, I didn't have the robust rating system that I'm building out now, but I did think last year you guys were an extremely underseeded team according to the AIA numbers, which,
It worked out great,
yeah,
for us. And no, I mean it just speaks to the volume of how great our region is. And
yes, yeah,
got better. You add Deer Valley in the mix. So, and I think Deer Valley. I mean, they got to be favorites. With all the talent that they got on their roster. Jed Dunn's a dear friend. He's more like family, quite honestly. He does a great job, and I've known him since I was in high school. So, um, us in Arcadia and Deer Valley and St. Mary's and Cactus Shadows. I mean, like, you just keep going down the list of 4A teams, and unfortunately, we gotta knock the snot out of each other, in region play. But I mean, that's why, like last year, as we went to the Final Four, I'm like, well, that's our region, like
yeah,
as expected, and that's who we are, and I think it's the toughest region in the state, and just every night you got to be at your best because you can slip to anybody, and I think Mesquite's going to be very good this year. I don't think anyone's
yep,
talking Mesquite
yeah,
enough. Um, they got talent. They've added to it. They were a tough out last year.
yep,
So don't sleep on Mesquite. Don't sleep on Cactus Shadows. Don't sleep on Arcadia. I mean, like it's everybody, and hopefully those guys will say the same thing about us, uh,
yeah,
too. But no, I mean we have a great region, great coaches. I think the best part is that we're very friendly with each other. Like I genuinely like every coach in our region, even new guys coming in. Esposito at St. Mary's, think the world of him. So I think that makes it really fun too. Is just the relationships are fun, competition's fun, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of great programs and coaches to compete with.
for sure. Yeah, and you guys are in a gauntlet of a region. I think I statted out and I like re-rated all the conferences and the regions last year, and I think 4A Desert Sky was like top three. It's like the
Yeah,
6A Premier, the 6A Central. Those are like the Bashes, the Chandlers, the Sunny Slopes, the
yeah,
Millenniums, and I think I had your guys' region third. So definitely going to be a gauntlet of a schedule, going to be tough, but it builds character, as my
yeah,
boss used to tell me. It builds character. Um,
absolutely.
so yeah, well, yeah, appreciate you taking the time, Coach Ramirez. And
And that's
obviously,
it. I was ready to go. I mean,
I mean, Well, hold on, wait, let's see. I mean, I had some
What
other.
else you got? Come on.
All right. I didn't know if you wanted to end it. I had some stuff I
No,
didn't know
no,
if you
no,
were
no.
strict
I
on
got time.
time. Let's see what else I got here. This was more a curiosity thing. We mentioned I actually helped like with the broadcasting and stuff during your first season at Saguaro. Um, and I guess
Which
was just
again,
curious.
which again, I don't want people listening to think like deep down I secretly knew that you were the Oracle the whole time.
No, no.
It's total small world. You worked with Vince DeLisio, Varsity Sports Show, like
Yes.
awesome, awesome small world connection. Um, because I'm sitting there and I'm like, who the heck is this Oracle guy? And
I was a producer, so I was
why is he
behind the
so nice to me?
scenes.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I sent the interns to
Yeah.
go do the interviews, so I was all just producing it. But I guess I was always just kind of curious, especially your first season at Saguaro. Like, what was the experience like of taking over a new program? And then next thing you know, the season it wasn't even supposed to happen. And then I think
Yeah.
there was a whole ruling that made it
Yeah.
eligible again. People are playing with masks on. It was one of the wildest things I've ever seen. I guess what was that whole experience like coaching that your first year?
I'm gonna use my Fifth Amendment right here. No, it was wild. I mean, I tell anybody if you can coach the COVID season, like many of my peers and esteemed colleagues in the coaching world did, you can coach any year. And on top of that, inheriting a program that year, I was fired up. We got hired on like March 9th or 8th or 5th or something like that. Principal's like, all right, you're going to meet the team after spring break. Well, came back from spring break. There was no team. There was no, meeting. So it was one of those deals, man, where you just found ways to be creative that summer. I mean, every coach remembers what that was like. You're having Zoom meetings, you're chasing kids down. Now, inheriting a program really hard because you got to build relationships at the same time, trying to stay connected in a world that wasn't very connected, but at the very same time was easily connected with technology, right? So it was a wild time. Um, and it looking back at it, it flew by. It also didn't. It was nuts, but what a magical year that was for us. The expectations were in the basement, and we were able to add a third level to the home, and when no one thought we would, and just a special group of kids who would run through a wall for you, and probably, truthfully, sorry if any of these guys hear this, probably my least talented group that I've had. But just worked their tails off and sacrificed for one another. And it was just kind of the perfect storm. And I tell everyone this, if we didn't have our season delayed, I don't know if we're as good as we were because we had enough extra time to practice. We needed it.
Mhm.
We needed it. And then we played like 18, 20 games in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever it was. And kids loved it because there was very little practice time. But yeah, no, I mean, wow, what a year. What a whirlwind. And it was really cool because we had the varsity sports show connected and it was great for our community to kind of follow and figure it out with us, along the way. And it was fun. It was something new, and then it stuck. It's a relationship that our school's been able to continue with Vince, and he's been very, very good to us and in our programs.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I mean the just the context you have makes it even more impressive that you guys won the region.
Yeah.
And I think I remember little story. I at the time I was working at Sprouts grocery store. And then on my like not lunch, but like my dinner break, on my 30-minute break or whatever, I went into the break room and Saguaro was playing Paradise Honors in the championship. Obviously, I couldn't go, and I was like, I gotta see what's going on here. From what I remember, it was a pretty tough game. Obviously, Paradise Honors, they ended up making the championship that year and then
Yeah.
barely lost to St. Mary's. So like top two team, I'd say probably in 4A. But
Oh
I
yeah.
remember
Yeah.
watching that and it being pretty tight for a little bit there.
Yeah. No, I mean, they were loaded. They had
Yeah,
two Division I players, if I recall, on their roster. Zach Heddles that was their head coach at the time.
got it. Yeah.
Zach does a great job wherever he is. Um, And it was kind of one of those deals where I was like, hey, we're just going to be us. And, whatever team shows up, I think we like, like it was like a 15-point game, we were hanging around and, there were times it felt like we really weren't hanging around. There were times where it felt like we were, but great experience, great experience for us. And, it was just awesome to get better and use it as a stepping stone to really springboard to where we are now. And, just kind of the reminder of like, that's the motivation to just keep kind of running it back and seeing how far we can go.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Dang, yeah, I just remember that was because I didn't like have, at least at the time, I didn't know you guys were a favorite or anything to win 4A. It did kind of seem like out of the blue, so that was really fun to watch that, especially like I think it was our inaugural year helping you
Yeah.
guys. So it all kind of worked out. Okay, I guess last question for
Okay.
me. I mean, we could attempt to come up with some out of thin air, but this is all I had. I didn't want to drag it on, but if you want to keep going, we can. But this was more of a I don't have a lot of contacts with coaches, so um, this is always a question I've always been curious about with the Open. I think it's been around since I think the 22-23 season. So not around for too long. There's been some criticism with the format of the Open and
Yeah.
allegedly teams not giving it their all, not really trying to advance. I'm not going to speak on that. As you can tell, I'm a fan of controversial questions, but I just kind of your thoughts. Do you think we should keep it, alter it, abolish it? I know there's quite a few people out there that have some pretty big opinions on it.
Yeah. I'm good with it. Like,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe if it hurts me in a way, then I'll be anti. It's like presidential elections. If you don't like what the result is, then you can complain about the electoral college. But then when you win, the electoral college is awesome. And that's not a knock on any person or party before people roast me for that. I mean, everyone gets upset right when it doesn't go their way.
Yeah.
Um, Shoot, man, like I'm good with it. It creates more opportunities for kids. Uh, I personally could never tank. Um, we're going to shake it out and see where things fall. Worst case scenario, maybe we go back in the 4A and we have a chance to win it all. Best case scenario, you know, we make a run. I mean, shoot, if we make a couple more plays here and there on either side of the ball, we beat Kai Miles and Mesa, and everyone's thinking we're the best thing ever, probably. And I would have been fine rolling into Brophy that Friday night or Thursday night and seeing where the chips fall. I mean, like, and then maybe we go back down to the 4A, and who knows? Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The Open, there's controversy. Transfers,
Mhm.
there's controversy. Like it's just, I mean, every day there's something new
There's
to.
always something. There's always
Yeah, yeah,
something.
and I'm the first one to enjoy gossip and enjoy the rumor mill and enjoy controversy, but like at the same time, like we just gotta, whatever happens, happens. We show up, and I think it's a great honor to be in the Open. I was jacked up about it first time and for the school, and uh, that can be our standard every year to try and chase that. But it's just scheduling helps too. I mean, like people don't like talking about it. If you have a favorable schedule, like it helps you, man. Like our non-region schedule is nowhere close to our region schedule, so it helps us going into the deal because if we can stack some wins, then going into region play, we're going to be all right if we can get a couple region wins, and then it puts you in a decent spot to compete. So scheduling and the whole deal kind of impacts it all. And I don't know the
Mm.
formula. I don't know if anybody does, for the
Yeah. I don't
that.
think anyone's gonna get their hands on
I'm,
that.
I'm not personally going to try and figure it out.
Yeah.
You just, show up every day, try and be your best for kids. And same with the kids, student athletes, they show up every day and try to be the best versions of themselves. And however the deck drops, like that's the way it is, and you can keep on going. But no, man, I mean, it's probably depending on who you ask and depending on what the outcome of the year was, that'll probably be their
Hmm.
answer for
Yeah.
the Open. I'm sure the Open winners probably had no problem with the Open. You're Ray Portella or Sammy Dwayne or whoever else has won the Open. Maybe it's just been them two. I don't even
Just been
know.
them too, I'm pretty
Um,
sure.
I, I'm sure they are fans of the Open. 'Cause why not?
Yeah.
But it's all relative.
Yeah. I'll tell you what though, this year I think there's a good chance it's someone besides Portell or Dwayne that wins. I think so. There's probably gonna be. not probably, but there's a good chance it could be a different team this year.
Yeah, yeah. I
It
mean,
could be good for the sport.
and that's what's so great, as you know, as a fan and someone who's passionate about Arizona high school basketball, and people who've been around know, like, it's so great how awesome our state has become at or with the game of basketball. You can look at the AIA level. You can look at the prep schools, Bella Vista, Compass, and then you can look at, all the AIA. There's talent in the AIA. There's talent in the national prep landscape. Like, I mean, Power Four coaches are coming to Arizona to recruit, and so that's great for the game. It's great for everybody, and it's been really cool to see how Arizona basketball has progressed, since the beginning of, I would say the beginning of time. I would say the beginning of my time. I started coaching in 2011, 2012, and to see where it's gone and to see where it's grown is awesome, and it's only going to keep getting better. And then we could spend all night here talking about football and baseball. I mean, like, just Arizona's great, and it's awesome to see the high level student athletes that are coming out of here.
Yeah, yeah, it's been yeah, I know. Even since like it feels like since after COVID is when I started to really pay attention to it, and it's insane how great the players have become and just insane growth. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, Arizona continues to grow and we continue to have high level players stay in AIA.
Yep.
But that's the conversation for another time. Um, well, that's about everything I got for you. Like I said, unless there's anything you got top of mind or any last
No,
words you
no, no.
have,
I got
anything you want to give to the
nothing.
fan base.
No, no, no. I got nothing on top of my mind. We'll certainly revisit this, and I hope that people are at least entertained with what they heard us talk about. They'll probably sit there and make snide remarks to themselves and people in other group chats I'm not a part of, probably. But no, I mean, have fun with it. Can't take yourself too seriously. Like I told you before we really jumped on, like, it's just one of those deals where we are so lucky to do what we do and have the ability to impact others around us on our campuses and our communities. One of my mentors, Jerry Connor, who I worked for at Horizon, I remember one of the first times we got together, and he just reminded me at the very beginning of the conversation just how lucky we are to be educators, to be teachers, to be coaches. And you got to step back and remind yourself, like, that's pretty neat. It's pretty neat to have the opportunity to do that and work with people like yourself who also care about growing the game, and all the fabulous people out there that want to move the game forward. But yeah, it was awesome to chat with you, and can't wait to follow more of your social media, and just have a great season ahead, and hopefully other coaches are willing to come on and chat and kind of bare their soul and put it all out there, because I don't think enough guys do it, really. Like, we are in this profession together, and it's all right to kind of share your thoughts and be vulnerable, and not be afraid to kind of let it rip. So again, thank you for all you do, and nice to finally meet you, serious Oracle man.
Yeah, good to talk to you. I get well eventually we'll have to talk face to face, but talking over Zoom. And yeah, DMs are now open. I didn't realize my DMs weren't open on Twitter. I had someone at me the other day, but DMs are open. So if any coaches want an interview, want to chat, anything, let me know. We can get a podcast rolling. Coach Ramirez, if we want to make this eventually a recurring thing between me and you, no, I'm not opposed to that at all. Especially during the regular season, if you want to get post game interviews and stuff, um, more than happy
Yeah.
to help out. And yeah, I'm just doing my best to help grow the game, get some more data, more statistics in it. Um, if anyone has a gripe with my ratings, please let me know.
At him.
I'm not
At him.
afraid of criticism. So if you don't like the way I rated your team, I'm sorry. It's the numbers. It's not me. It's the numbers. It's the math. So, but
Formula.
like, exactly, it's the formula. It's the formula.
Hey
Um,
man, I appreciate it, and but again, just thanks for all you do. You can probably hear my cats crying behind me. It's time to feed them. But
yeah.
and yes, I'm a cat guy. I got two cats. Don't judge me, people out there. They're beautiful.
My family has two cats as well.
There
So,
you go. I
but
love
I'm more of a dog person. But
it. For sure. They're all great.
exactly, yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks again, Coach. Really appreciate it. This has been the first episode of the Oracle Basketball Podcast. That's kind of a mouthful. Maybe we'll change the name. This is going to be uploaded on YouTube, so I think my handle is like Oracle Basketball. If you just search Oracle Basketball on YouTube, you'll find it. But yeah, be sure you like, share, subscribe. We're going to be probably posting a lot more content this season. I think I had like 2 preseason videos last year, so we'll boost that channel up, get some more content. Again, thanks, Coach. Thank you again, everyone, for listening. We'll see you next time, and take care.